Hi Christian. The question is about vitiligo. It's in two parts. The first part is about the biological decoding of vitiligo itself. This person has vitiligo. Her own mother has vitiligo. So the second part of her question is what can she do for her daughter not to develop vitiligo? The biological decoding of vitiligo. What I have observed based on the biological purpose of this disease is that physiologically vitiligo is an absence of production of melanin in some areas of the skin. It affects the deepest layer of the epidermis, and the function of the melanin is to protect us from the sun. We can get a tan, or the skin is brown, like in people born in Africa. The more I'm attacked by the sun, the more I protect myself. Regarding people with vitiligo, the purpose is the opposite. It's about to not protect themselves from the sun. For those people, it's as if this light should enter them. The code is, I'm separated from this light. I want the other to see inside of me, to see I'm a good person. In many cultures, the son is often associated with the father. So I'd like Daddy, his light, his awareness to be proud of me, to see that I am a good person. So I don't want to block this light for him to see I'm a good person. We can think about Michael Jackson, this very famous singer who was affected by this disease. We know parts of his story and it may help some people. It is said that he was beaten by his father and he always wanted to please him. He always wanted to be the best at dancing and singing, to be perfect. It is said that his father was constantly insulting him, calling him nasty Negro and other names. So we can suggest this hypothesis. I want my father to see inside of me that I'm a good person. And Michael Jackson has even amplified his vitiligo as he has intentionally whitened his skin. He has also contributed to a lot of humanitarian actions for humanity and other people to see that he was a good person. We often observe that when someone has an emotional conflict, this person will develop around that conflict. He will choose a job, develop strategies around that conflict in order to never be in contact with this stress. As I said in previous interviews, the strategy of the body, the subconscious, the biology of life in general is to avoid stress, to minimize it. As soon as we're hungry, it's a stress, therefore we eat. When we are tired, it's a stress, so we lay down. When we're upset with someone, it's a stress, so we'll try to make it up or we'll sue the person. At least we'll do something that will downgrade the level of stress or suppress it. Let's suppose that Michael Jackson felt insulted and criticized unfairly, so he wanted to show that he was a good person and probably expressed it professionally and artistically. Now the second part of the question, whether it's with vitiligo or any other pathologies, we observe repetitions from generation to generation. Indeed, we observe a disease in a mother, and it may happen that the daughter and the granddaughter have the same. But it's not systematic. We can observe that a mother has migraines, but only one of her daughters has migraines too. The others don't. Of course, it's not an obligation or a fatality. Dealing with a genetic issue, doctors know that it's not only the defective gene that is transmitted, but also an on and off system. Therefore, we can receive a defective gene with the potential of causing a disease, but it's off, and we may never develop this disease. However, we can transmit it. The gene is the carrier of the story, the memory of a conflict or a secret. So we can suppose that the grandmother had experienced something similar to what I described earlier, a bad relationship with the father or man, to feel sullied by the other's look, and I'd like him to see how pure I am inside, and it was not expressed. For example, a Jewish woman wants to marry a Catholic man, and when she announces it to her father, he drives her out of the house. She feels sullied and betrayed by her father, who calls her a slut. And she wants to say to her father, I love you. Look inside of me. I'm pure. I'm immaculate. I love this man. So she will develop vitiligo, and later on her son as well. Regardless of the symptom, there is a transmission of a program of adaptation from a memory which explains why sometimes symptoms are passed on from generation to generation. Prevention will consist on working on the genealogy to see what happened to her own mother, her grandmother and grandfather in regards to this specific theme, to clear that up, to bring this into awareness with the hypothesis it will increase the chances for the future generations to be freed from this disease, meaning from this emotion, meaning from the conflict, meaning from the secret story. Because all of these things, the story, the biological meaning, and the disease are just one and the same.